Good morning. This is a response video to Orons, Orons. He responded to the video effects of the legal system on applying for jobs. This is what he had to say, and I'm going to comment as the feeling hits me. And as y'all know, as usual, I just woke up. I've watched a lot of your videos, but this one has moved me the most. I totally agree with you and fully understanding and empathize with your predicament. Our society is set up to favor people who already have everything they need. Um, Thank you for your comment on that. That wasn't my the purpose of this video. Kind of wasn't really to address, that um, to have everything that's set up in favor of people who already have everything they need. But I can see how that is true in a lot of instances. Anyone with a blemish on their record is automatically relegated to level of an undesirable. And I don't know if that's necessarily so much true, but the reason that I say this, I don't think that that's necessarily true, but I think that psychologically it puts that in the mind of the person who's been convicted, whether falsely or not. For my situation, I was falsely accused and convicted, and it was appealed, and it was overturned. But I think what it does do, and this is really important, I think that what it really does do is that it creates an environment that if somebody doesn't like you, or if they grow not to like you, or if you are different in any way that is not appealing to them, that then they have fodder in order to put something negative out there about you, or they have validation, whether correct or incorrect, to have a negative opinion about you and to share that as truth. Um, because there are plenty of people, with criminal records that are actual. My point is that, and maybe I didn't say it in this video because I didn't go back and watch it, but there are many, my point is that there are many people with criminal records that are actual criminals that are doing just fine because they have no conscience about whatever it was that they did. They did it. It didn't change their life because they knew or was told since they were little that this is what that type of lifestyle would lead to, and that's what they got. But the issue is when you have persons like myself that are victims of the criminal justice system because you have been falsely accused and taken through the system. And it's always out there no matter what you do. And that's just the way it is. So I don't feel necessarily that they've been automatically relegated to undesirable because when I went to that FAMU thing, that guy that stood up and said that he was incarcerated for 26 years, and he was well received. He ran over everybody, said what he had to say, but he did it in a way that was likable. Like this girl that lives here. She is okay, and she's okay only because however she is well received. I'm even receiving it well because she knows how to do it. She knows how to say F you and then come back with a smile. And the thing, like my thing with not being able to do that, like if I don't agree with something or something doesn't rub me right, I close out completely. But she's smart. She doesn't close out completely. Like I said, everything that I do has to have a purpose. She has a purpose. Her purpose is to get information, to warm you up and get information. Smart, 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 smart girl. Smart lady. Smart. And like I said, there's a lot that I can learn from her. A lot that I can learn from that guy that stood up and said he did 26 years or whatever, but then kept a smile. A smile wins a lot. People don't want to see your hurt and pain. Kept a smile on his face and kept on talking and, made it like it was just the best thing ever. Like, and people believed it. And it was because he got somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And even if he didn't get somewhere, because I think it was him that sent that group email, he kept it ticking. You know. So those are smart people. Both of them are criminals, and I know because they told me or they shared their criminal whatever. Um, and not on, maybe not on paper, in which I think a lot of criminals are not because they're manipulative. They know how to not have it on paper. But anyone with a blemish on their is automatically record is automatically relegated to level and undesirable. And on top of that, for my situation, I could have that quote unquote sealed and expunged. But I would never do that because I was a victim of the criminal justice system. You are falsely accused and convicted. And I'm not convicted internally, but that's what they say, there, because I guess, the wording of that is that they want you to be, but I'm not because I did not. I did not do that. And then you're about to address what I wanted to say next. This is a terrible state of affairs we've gradually sleepwalked into. And no, we haven't sleepwalked into that. That's been going on for ages. One comment that was made by Greg Maddock was that, after the end of slavery, they started setting up prisons, all these prisons. And so it wasn't sleepwalk, it was intentional and deliberate by the people that makes legislation rules and all that. It says, if you have access to free or inexpensive legal advice, I suggest you seek out to see if it is legally accepted to omit this conviction from any job application. And it is. And if it isn't, then, I've had, people in the courts tell me, but again, we all know that everything that's legal isn't right. Okay? If you look at stupid stuff like cigarettes are legal. They murder billions of people. Weed is not. I don't do any of it, so it doesn't matter to me either way. But, it makes no sense. Even standing around a cigarette, you can smell the toxicity. With weed, it doesn't even bother me if I'm like walking and I with somebody somewhere doing something. But, and then there's other things. Capital punishment. Everything that's legal ain't right. And everything that's illegal ain't wrong. You can have capital punishment, but you can't have people that decide they want to check out. You know what I'm saying? So the system is not rational in a lot of ways. It doesn't make sense, but it makes whoever runs it happy. It suits whatever purpose that they have in mind. Now, if you have access, I suggest to seek out is legally acceptable to mute the conviction from any future job application. That misses the whole point of, my channel and what I'm saying. But thank you for sharing that you feel that that's something that should be done, but absolutely not. If you are a victim of the criminal justice system, it's the equivalent, and I've mentioned this before, of you being in a relationship, in a domestic violence relationship. Your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, however you want to do it, gives you a black eye and knocks your teeth out or something. That's what the system does. And then when the authorities come, and in the situation with the system, the authorities will be the general public. They, anybody that, and not the general public, but anybody that's remotely interested, and they say, hey, what happened here? And then you're just like, oh, nothing, I just fell. That's what it is to omit it from future job applications. People need to know. And I need to somehow get a process going where it's okay for me. And I put it on my job applications. I either put will discuss upon serious consideration, or either I'll put just put falsely convicted and accused overturned. We'll talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So the answer is not to hide. You know what I'm saying? The answer is not to hide it at all, because it happens. People need to be about it. I think older people know, middle age, mid-20s and up, no. But these people that have lived that ivory lifestyle, like, I lived, even though I was poor, I still lived very, goal-oriented and focused and sheltered. Those young people don't know. They don't know that stuff like this happens, that the world is an unfair place and things happen. They don't know that. And people need to know. And if you keep hiding it, people will never know. If you keep sealing and expunging, people won't know. People will never know. Because once you do that, you're not going to continuously keep talking about it, because then it brings suspicion to you and all this, that, and the other. But no, that's, not acceptable at all. And that's a phone call or a look up to you can look that up and find out. But no, that's the point. I've never hidden anything, and I'm not going to. There's been moments where I just wanted to go on with my life, where I had like, dog, this is over and I'm still talking about this. Because it's not really, every time you fill out a job application, that's something that goes on there. I've been told by the court, that I don't have to put that on my application. But anyways, it might go some ways towards minimizing the nervousness that you speak of. Not at all, because it's a combination of things. It's not just that. It's the other things listed on the background on my page. Is workplace bullying, mutability, court-ordered homelessness. It's a social disease that they are creating. The system is creating it when they're victimizing people that are innocent and putting them into the system. I mean, it's so much more than that. And I'm glad that uh, you say you love my videos. I'm glad that you say that. That's a very nice thing to say. Appreciate it. Appreciate you watching. So, but yeah, so my point in this is that the answer is not to hide it. I've never had any desire to hide it. And just like domestic violence, you don't hide the fact that you got beat up on, you know? And it is intentional, the process that people go through with this. They've done psychological studies and everything else along with this for decades to make sure that they get the results that they want. So it's a process. Now, it's no need to minimize, you know what I'm saying, anything. It's what goes towards minimizing the nervousness or the discontent that I feel or whatever. I don't know if I said that. I hope I didn't say nervousness. I may have. But the discontent that I feel, in those situations is talking about it, is doing something about it, is making sure that it is known that this happens and it's not okay and the system is a criminal in those types of situations. So anyways, good morning. Be blessed.